Now you've probably heard of the murder hornet, but have you ever heard of the murder bee? Today we are in Thailand on the hunt for this supersized and super aggressive honeybee, and we're going deep into a national park, and if we do find one, I am going to intentionally take a sting so I can rate this stinging honeybee on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index. All right.
Cobra.
Guys, roll cameras.
Do you need a hook?
Hook's good, yeah. Okay. Can someone move the car off the road, maybe?
Heads up. All right, guys, we're just like literally about to go into the park. Max sees this cobra across the road, and this is a monocled cobra, right, Max?
This is a monocle cobra, correct.
Okay. They can sense heat, so it feels me now. See how it senses me? See that? Turn this way. Pretty crazy, isn't it? And if you see it from the back, it actually has an eye pattern, and that's why it's called the monocled cobra. But you can see this cobra is in full hooded defense display, and you can hear it hissing. Hear that? Heavy breath, just warning any predator, stay away from me. I'm venomous and I will strike. The only reason it's hooded up like this is because Max was moving it off the road, and we, oh, hey buddy. I will say they are intimidating, guys. Like, you're staring into the eyes of a cobra. You can feel how powerful it is with that big breathy hiss. You can see it flexing its neck when it pushes out that hood. Now, a bite from the snake would be a very bad situation. This is a extremely toxic species of cobra. Probably definitely the most dangerous snake I've ever handled before. I'm giving this snake my full respect and attention. This is a very serious snake. First time handling a cobra. Look at that, guys. A monocle cobra right here in Thailand. Unbelievable. We're actually headed to the campgrounds here at Kangkrachan National Park because that's probably going to be our best place to find one of these giant honeybees. These bees typically build their hives so high up in the canopy, there's no chance we'd be able to reach one. We're talking like 90 to 100 feet up in the trees. But the good news is the bees need to forage. And a lot of times they will choose to forage in places that humans set up shop because there's food and there's water. I hear the buzzing, but I'm not seeing any bees. I hear buzzing. See all this water? Water is perfect. Along with nectar, they're also looking for water. What is that? Oh, guys, we have bees. They're almost an inch long. Those are giant honeybees. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go in with this jar, try to catch one. Here we go. Oh, yeah, good. I can't believe I'm staking out a urinal trying to catch an animal for a video. As if it wasn't bad enough before catching a bee in a urinal. There are about 5 photographers who just came through, leaving some hot deposits, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm gonna try to make this quick. I need one bee. Here's one. Huh. I got 2 bees. Well, there we have it. We caught a giant honeybee at a giant urinal, and now it's time for a giant sting test. Let's go set up the sting table. There it is. Giant honeybee. This is gonna hurt. Okay, let's get out the supplies. Never leave home without my adventure fuel. This has been one heck of an adventure today. Got the sting table all set up. And of course, I always have an EpiPen with me because you never know how you're gonna react to venom, especially when you're getting stung or bitten for the very first time. But when it comes to honeybees, in particular, humans worldwide have developed a sensitivity to honeybee venom. So if there was ever a sting where I might actually need to use an EpiPen, this one would be very high up that list. When I caught this giant honeybee on the same swing, I also caught what appears to be a normal size honeybee. So you can see just between looking at these two next to each other, the giant honeybee is triple the size of the other one. But now that we've been able to take a closer look at those two side by side, I'm gonna get the giant honeybee out and isolate it into this capsule. A quick transfer here. Do this without taking a sting yet. Stand by. Oh man, I could feel its wings beating against the glass. Man, is it fired up. This is an angry bee. Let's take a closer look at some of its unique features. What makes it different than the honeybees that we're used to seeing? Obviously it's bigger, and it's getting the majority of its size from its rear abdomen, which has these really bright white tiger stripes across the back of it. It has a much more golden yellow center to its body, so a much more vivid colored bee than the typical honeybee. The broods of these honeybees and the colonies that they make with a single hive are much larger than the European and Africanized honeybees that we have in the United States. You combine that with the super aggression and size of the giant honeybee, and if you unfortunately get swarmed by this insect, you're in for a world of pain. Oh, this bee looks angry. It is going to sting me almost instantly when I get it out of the capsule. Now, like other bees, it will also detach its stinger into any would-be predator in defense of itself or its hive. In fact, the worst stings I have ever had off camera have been from a honeybee. I once got stung in the stomach, just barely popped through my shirt, took a sting, and the welt that was created was like the size of a salad plate. It was like this big. So I have a feeling this giant honeybee is gonna wallop me in terms of aftermath. It's time to find out and for me to enter the sting zone. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna get stung right here.
Ooh, he sounds angry.
Very angry. Oh geez, oh, lost it. Okay, bees in the net, that's why we have a net. The bee's just gonna continue to climb up. Don't wanna go back to those urinals. Had a lot of escapees over the years. Gotta get home. See the stinger. I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the giant honeybee. On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah, yep. Stinger's in. Stinger's in. Oh, it's hooked in. Ah, yeah. That burns. Yep, it's lodged in the skin. It's lodged in the skin. Oh no, pop the stinger out. It popped the stinger out right away. All right, there. Ah, it burns. We'll put it back in here for now. You guys see that venom sac at the end of it? Let's see if I can show you that.
Yeah, it's still in there.
It's like, you see it pumping? You see it going? Those are nerves. Those are nerves continuing to pump venom. Fortunately, the bee did release its stinger in me, but this is a good lesson to learn about how that mechanism works. It detaches the stinger along with the venom sac, and it has nerves that remain in the venom sac that continue to pump it. It's almost like a little heartbeat, and it's starting to really pump venom now. Ooh. Yeah, it burns. Okay. Now, another lesson that this bee is going to allow me to teach is how to remove the stinger. Some people say to use a credit card. I'm gonna use my pinchers here. You can use tweezers. What you wanna do when you're removing a stinger of a bee is to not grab the venom sac and squeeze it. If you squeeze that venom sac, you're just gonna pump more venom into the sting site. What you wanna do is you wanna get up underneath the venom sac and pull it out. Got it at the base, see that? Now the stinger has little harpoons in it, and that's why it's difficult to get out of your skin. Got it. Okay. Whew. There's the stinger right there. I'm gonna monitor my symptoms for the next 20 to 30 minutes, make sure that, first of all, I don't need an EpiPen, but secondly, we're gonna show you just how much inflammation comes up. And then over the course of the next 2 or 3 days, this is likely to get super swollen, super red, and develop a pretty big sting radius because the venom of the honeybee does most of its damage in the long term. So we're gonna wanna pay particular close attention to the aftermath, but you don't have to wait for that. Let's get into the official BSI rating of the giant honeybee right now. On intimidation, the giant Asian honeybee demands respect. It's easily 3 times larger than your average European honeybee, and with those white tiger stripes, they warn you to stay away. But being as common as they are and compared to some of the other stinging insects I've encountered on this trip, it doesn't quite make it to the top tier. But still, these bees have a reputation in Thailand for a very potent sting, and with that, I give it a 6.3 out of 10. For pain, once that stinger dug into my skin, it almost immediately started pumping me with venom. Once it released its stinger and venom sac though, the burning worsened and quickly radiated through my arm as I received a full dose. It definitely hurt more than your typical honeybee. That said, the pain was manageable, but I did have to closely monitor my symptoms to make sure I wasn't having an allergic reaction. Given all that, it earns a 6.6 out of 10 for pain. The aftermath of the giant honeybee is where it really showed up, leaving behind a lot of swelling and tingling on my arm for almost 72 hours. And it radiated heat, and I had the typical reaction that I would see from a honeybee sting, which was totally expected, but still quite annoying. For that, it gets an aftermath score of a 7.1 out of 10. All combined, the giant honeybee ranks at a 6.7 out of 10 on the Brave Wilderness BSI.